So hi everyone, thank you very much for coming tonight. And I'm a PhD student, I'm just finishing my PhD at the Humboldt University, as we just said. And today I will try to explain you why mice are a good model to help us understand why it's interesting to be attracted by exotic partners. At least if you're a mouse, but yeah. So first let's discuss a bit about this animal. So you all know mice because you probably see them in your kitchen, on the train, etc., etc. And biologists know them very well because it's the main biological model for scientists. But actually we know just this little white mouse that we see in the labs when we are biologists. But actually it's a real animal. It's also a real animal, it's a wild animal. The original real animal was originated from somewhere around India, Pakistan. And they were following human migrations. They're also very good for archaeologists because you can follow human migration through the travel of mice. So they were exploring the world, following humans a bit everywhere. And actually for what I'm interested in, because I work in Europe, I know that several populations emerged from this ancestor. Especially two populations, so two groups. They took different ways following human migrations. For 500,000 years, they evolved separately, so they just took their way separately without exchanging genes, without making babies, without any contact. So they became not different species, but almost different species. They became very, very separate. Until somewhere around the Bronze Age, like 3,000, 5,000 years ago, where they met again. And what happened is like they made babies. And this little purple mouse here is a hybrid, so the baby of these two subspecies, the blue and the red subspecies. And all this line that I drew here is basically a line where on this zone, it's called the European house mouse hybrid zone. It's a very fancy word, but on this 20 kilometers only large zone, you have a mix of mice. You've got these purple mice, and these purple mice are amazing for evolutionary biologists. So why are they so fascinating? Because actually I will represent them only with this very simple color, but they represent a mix of genes of two very different populations. So some of them will be 50-50, some of them will have more of the blue parents, some of them will have more of the red, and everything in between. So they can help us to understand what happens when you mix things that are far away from each other. For that, we have a hybrid index, so an index where when we catch a mouse, we can say, okay, she's here, it's here, etc. So what do we know already about these mice? So first of all, this zone, this 20-kilometer zone that I showed you, it's very stable because mice from the outside, they come and make babies, but the mice in the inside, these purple mice, they make less babies. For a lot of reasons. One of the most obvious one is really well studied by my colleague Eva that I present here, and she spent the past 7 years at this microscope exactly in this position to study sperm. And actually, she's Eva the sperm master, as we know her. And that is basically, you're probably not used to see a lot of sperm in a microscope, but that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not how it should behave. So basically, these hybrid sperm, they are hectic. They don't know what they are doing here. So they still make babies, but far less. So the zone keeps stable for this reason. So at this part of my talk, you're just like, oh, that's poor babies, like poor little purple mice. They have a bad sperm, they are doomed. But actually, what about their health? Because there are other reasons why they could still have advantages. There could still be advantages of having several backgrounds, several genes in yourself. And health is a question for 30, 40 years. A lot of people are studying health of these specific mice to know if it's better or worse to have different parents. And especially in response to parasites. So I will explain you quickly what is a parasite, and for the purpose of this talk, I provide you with a picture of my ex-boyfriend. That is a very, very good example of what a parasite is. That's very close to the truth. So actually it's someone that is living in your house and using your resources. That's literally how we define parasites also in biology. You can have all types of parasites, not only this one, but like the outside parasite, the lice, the tick. You can have parasites inside your body. So the most famous, like the big ones like worms, that a lot of people in the world and most of the animals have. And you can have microscopic parasites that can take a lot of forms. And that's these guys that I'm studying. So a lot of people study parasites for health issues. For example, malaria itself kills 500,000 kids a year in the world. So obviously there is a lot of research on that. But not only they are important for health issues, they make pressure on their host. So they ask the host to resist, because if the host doesn't evolve immune defenses, it just dies. So over the course of evolution, this pressure is important, and that's what I'm studying. So, again to this question, what about the health versus the parasite of these specific purple mice? Well, for that was what I did for the past 4 years, actually. We were catching mice in Brandenburg, so every year we capture a lot of students from the Humboldt University, and we bring them here. So for those that are from here, from Eberswalde or Niederfino, this area, and we stay there for 10 days, and we catch mice, a lot of them. So we go to farms, to houses, and we ask people, can you please put these little traps in your house? And we come back the day after, and we catch the mice. So the cats are just, because they are pretty, but they don't help at all. And they were just attracted by the smell, because actually we don't catch them with cheese or with this kind of stuff. We catch them with a mix of oat flakes and sardines that we put here, and the mouse arrive, and there is a little thing that closes and catch the mice. And at the end of the day, we have these amazing babies that we capture. What did we find so far? So when we have a mouse, we count the number of parasites in their intestine, and we did this model. So I'm not going to go into the hardcore statistical details of what was my past 4 years' nightmare, but I'm going to show you a bit what we tested. So let's imagine, neutral idea. You are a purple mouse, you're just the average of your parents. So being a mix of two different genes is not good nor bad. It's just like you're just the average. The parasite load is the number of parasites you've got in your body. So imagine you have 2 parasites in the blue mouse, 4 parasites in the red mice. You expect to have, mathematicians here. So we expect to have 3 parasites. So that's the neutral, the null hypothesis, as we call it. We don't have any impact of being a hybrid. But let's imagine that hybrids, it's very bad, like the sperm, it's very bad to be a hybrid, to be a purple mouse. It's very, very bad for you. So you've got more parasites than your parents. We tested that as well. Or it can be the other way around. It can be actually good. And you've got less parasites that you would expect if you were the average of your parents. And the suspense is unbearable. So basically, yes, at the last one, we find that on average, for 2 very, very different parasites, we've got less parasites if we are a mix of these 2 different mice. So basically, they have a bad sperm, but they have a very strong immune system. And for very interesting genetics, it also teaches us about genetics for a lot of very cool genetic reasons. Bringing together 2 different types of genes is actually increasing the immune system. And actually, I'd like to finish with this short anecdote about humans, actually. It has been tested in the 90s. They asked women to smell T-shirts of male where they wear T-shirts for 2 days. And they didn't see the men, they just were given T-shirts. And they were asked to score the T-shirt. Do you like this smell? Do you not like this smell? And actually, on average, women prefer the smell of men that have the further away immune system from themselves. So actually, and it has been shown in a lot of mammals, at least. In humans, of course, you've got a lot of other reasons to choose a mating partner. But there could be something with the fact that if you have a partner that has a very strong away immune system from yourself, then your babies are going to be stronger, going to resist a wider range of disease and survive more. So evolution probably is pushing you to mingle with exotic partners. And with that, I'd like to finish. Thank you for your attention. Every work is a teamwork, so that's my amazing team in Berlin, and the collaborators from the Czech Republic also that helped us a lot, and the fundings to do this research, and you for your attention. Thank you very much.